Looking ahead to the potential for another round of severe weather today, I'm going to have the timing and all the details for you coming up.
Families in central Georgia now working to pick up the pieces after storms impacted their homes. The damage from Bibb County and across the state.
Plus, power outages hit central Georgia. The area is still seeing the impacts this morning.
One Bibb elementary school is closed after Tuesday's storm. How that has impacted students and staff.
Well, good Wednesday morning. You're taking a live look over a very foggy yet still beautiful downtown Macon. The time is now 6:30 a.m. on this Wednesday, April the 6th. Thank you so much for continuing to stay with us. I'm Wanya Reese.
And I'm Caitlin Heck. We've kind of seen that progressively get worse on that Skycam as we've gone from the 5 o'clock hour until now, too.
The fog has definitely picked up. And when I checked the temperature this morning to see if I needed a jacket, Court, I saw that it was in the 50s. And I was like, that might have something to do with all that fog we're seeing.
That's right. Yeah, we have a lot of moisture, and cool air just doesn't hold moisture quite as well as warm air does. So that is allowing for some fog as we start the day. Nothing necessarily dense with the exception of parts of Peach County. It looks like you might be experiencing less than a quarter-mile visibility. Most of the fog is west of 75, and most of us are experiencing half a mile or better of visibility. So just drive very carefully if you run into any dense fog, because we will have the potential for more to form as we head closer to sunrise, which the sun should be rising fairly soon. Right now, we do also have a couple of light showers. So not only is it foggy, it's quite damp out there, and all that moisture from the cloud cover, which essentially fog is just a low-lying cloud, is going to make for just a dreary ride to work. You're looking live on top of Atrium Health Navicent that we just showed you at the top of the show. It's 65 degrees. Fairly warm compared to some of our mornings recently, and area-wide we are generally in the low to mid 60s. You might need a jacket as you head out the door. Raincoat probably a good idea, as we will have that chance for rain and storms, especially as we head past lunchtime today. The timing for our severe threat today between around 2 and 10 o'clock. I'm going to break down all the details for you. That's in just a few minutes.
Well, thank you, Courtney. This morning, many places are waking up to storm damage after heavy winds and rain, even possible tornadoes that tore through central Georgia.
Now, before we take a look at that damage, we want to catch you up on what's affecting your day this morning, starting with some power outages. So right now, Georgia Power's outage map shows the biggest impacts in central Georgia are in Bibb and Twiggs counties. In Bibb, there are about 21 outages, and that's affecting almost 1,500 customers. In Twiggs, there are about 3 outages affecting 771 customers there.
And we're going to go ahead and take a look at Flint Energies customers. As of 6:25 this morning, there are about 265 people. You can see this map right here on your screen who are dealing with no power this morning. Now, before you take your child to the bus stop this morning, there are a couple of school cancelings that we need to tell you about. Dooley County Schools says they are taking a day off because of the threat of more severe weather. That means students, faculty, and staff will not report to campus. The district also says all after-school activities are canceled today. In Rosa Taylor Elementary, we all know that neighborhood yesterday, they got impacted really bad by these storms. They are also going to be closing school today for students.
Now, our morning reporter TJ Anthony is live outside of the school right now. So TJ, how is this going to impact students and staff today?
Yes, Caitlin and Wanye. While the district says that students and faculty and staff are to report to Rosa Taylor Elementary School at noon, students will not participate in virtual learning. Now, I want you to take a look at this video from earlier yesterday. This is what it looked like outside of the school following the storm. Damaged all in and out the access roads. You can see down trees in the power lines that even left students and staff stuck at school until late yesterday evening. A spokesperson for the district says they were able to begin dismissal at Rosa Taylor around 6:15 last night. Now, the district says that all other Bibb schools will operate the same. And Stephanie Hartley with the district just confirmed with me that bus drivers are still finding some roads still blocked in North Macon. Please be aware that buses may be late to the bus stops this morning due to blocked roads. And she said that we appreciate your understanding as drivers work to safely navigate the roads. Thank you, Caitlin and Wanye. Back to you.
Thank you so much, TJ. So again, all Bibb County schools except for Rosa Taylor do need to report today. But as TJ just said, those buses might be running a little behind.
Yes, thank you so much, TJ. That's phenomenal reporting. And it's important to note that no matter where you live at in Bibb County, just because of the storms that we saw with the downed tree branches and debris, your child's school bus may be delayed this morning. So that's definitely something that we want to look out for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, taking a look at the impact of yesterday's storms around Bibb County, North Macon appeared to see some of the worst damage. A man and his daughter were sheltering in their basement when a large tree crashed into their home.
We heard debris beginning to hit, and then all of a sudden the house was shaking, and and then it was over.
Some scary moments for Evans and many other Central Georgians. They're now looking to pick up the pieces and start moving on.
Now, the storm also tore through a Warner Robins neighborhood, Statham's Landing, damaging several homes there. There were snapped trees, ripped roofs, branches all over the Southern Landings golf course. Just take a look at this video. In another part of that subdivision, the storm caused a gas leak, forcing first responders to evacuate the area. Ann Hilliard's home was okay, but she says some of her neighbors won't be able to get into their homes for a long time.
The houses across the street, some of them have completely lost their roofs. So, I don't know how long these residents are going to be without their homes. It's just so sad and so unexpected, for heaven's sakes.
Neighbors began cleaning up yesterday. We'll need to wait for crews to survey the damage before the National Weather Service can say if a tornado or tornadoes touched down yesterday.
People in Bleckley County also saw the impact of yesterday's storms. That includes one woman who says when the storm hit, she, her husband, and their dog were safe inside their home, but the outside of their property got hit pretty hard. Take a look at this video. Janice Dixon and her husband lived in this home for over 60 years. The storm took apart the carport, barn, pool, and deer meat house. Dixon says luckily none of the furniture inside got destroyed. She says she can't be mad about it because she feels her family is much better off than a lot of people who've experienced these line of storms.
Those people in Alabama and Texas, their houses is like this.
It's amazing to still see the silver lining and to see that she is talking about that in this moment. Now, last night, Dixon said that she would stay with family, but she plans to move back into her home once an insurance company comes out to check it out.
Here are a few other Central Georgia areas the storm affected. Truland County EMA Director Josh Love says he believes a tornado touched down with at least 3 houses suffering some severe damage on a Hoopy Bend. That's near Soberton. Take a look at these pictures. These are photos that the Georgia Emergency Management shared yesterday. They say field coordinators worked with their local partners to respond to the impacts from that severe weather in Truland and in Hancock counties. And a viewer sent in these photos from in front of a Kroger in Milledgeville. They said they had no power for almost 2 hours. You can see those power lines down from those trees there.
Central Georgia wasn't the only part of the state impacted yesterday. The coast saw deadly damage. A Bryan County government spokesman says a woman died yesterday in Pembroke, Georgia. That's just over 30 miles from Savannah. Pembroke is where a suspected tornado ripped through part of the roof from the Bryan County courthouse, destroyed the entrance to a local government building across the street, and damaged homes in nearby neighborhoods. Bryan County declared a state of emergency in response to the suspected tornado that touched down. They've also put in a curfew to prohibit trespassing into the impacted areas of North Bryan County. Another place that saw damage in Georgia, Atlanta.
We took my whole living room and part of the top section out of there. There's a hole in the bedroom, one of the bedrooms upstairs going up the steps.
Heavy rain, lightning, and gusty winds moved through, knocking down a tree on one woman's home. The 77-year-old was in her basement watching weather reports when she heard a loud boom. The tree not only damaged her home, it also ripped a hole into the back of the house where it once stood. Another woman was in that room, but she was not hurt, thankfully.
Now, as we continue to monitor the potential for more storms today, we want to remind you this is very important. One of the best ways to stay weather aware and to get updates is through the 13 WMAZ app. You can get it in Google Play or the Apple Store, or you can quickly scan the QR code that's right there at the bottom of your screen. And once you get the app, make sure you sign up for notifications so you can get the latest weather and news alerts sent right to your phone. 6:39, let's catch you up on other news we're following this morning, starting with more headlines from across Georgia. One of the state's U.S. senators is putting pressure on a prominent insurance company to help people in Noonan recover from last year's devastating tornado. Senator Raphael Warnock sent a letter to State Farm Insurance yesterday urging them to make the people living in Noonan a priority. This comes a little more than a year after an EF4 tornado ripped through the city. A spokesperson with State Farm says they've gotten the letter and, to their understanding, don't have significant number of claims or major problems there. The company plans to respond to Senator Warnock, who says he will continue to apply the pressure until he sees results. A
double helicopter crash in Georgia that killed a soldier may not have been an accident. That's according to a report from the Army Times. A 3rd Infantry Division spokesperson verified to the publication yesterday that the Criminal Investigation Division probe into the crash was still underway. Army Times explained that the Combat Readiness Center would normally lead routine accident probes, but they would defer to the Criminal Investigation Division if the situation in question were believed to be the result of a criminal act. The crash happened last week at Wright Army Airfield in southeast Georgia, killing 26-year-old Captain James Ballou. Now to 3 local headlines we're following for you this morning. A trial is officially underway in Baldwin County for the man accused of killing a UGA professor. The GBI autopsies found that someone strangled Mary Ann Shockley to death in 2019. Investigators charge Marcus Lillard with concealing a death, aggravated assault, and murder. He faces a maximum penalty of life without parole. The prosecution and defense laid out their view of the case on yesterday with opening statements. You can read a breakdown of the day in court right now. That's on our website at 13wmaz.com. Right now, Monroe County man is in custody after a standoff with deputies. Sheriff Brad Freeman says deputies got called to a home after the man got into a fight with his parents.
The fight came after he had been drinking, and deputies got his parents out of the home safely while unsuccessfully negotiating with the man. Freeman
says the man started shooting in the home and bullets hit their search robot. The SWAT team used gas to go ahead and get that man out. There is no word on any charges this morning.
And Bibb deputies are looking for the man who robbed a bank in Macon. The sheriff's office says it happened just after 10:30 yesterday morning at the Mid-South Community Federal Credit Union on Lassiter Place. They got a report that a man wearing a camo face mask went into the bank with a weapon. He ran away after getting money. No one got hurt. If you have any information, you can call Macon Regional Crime Stoppers. The phone number is 1-877-68-CRIME. Again, 1-877-68-CRIME. Well, Bibb County Sheriff is now back on the job.
Sheriff David Davis made his return to work recently after going cancer treatment in Atlanta. He says he's feeling good and he's glad to be back, but he did tell us that doctor says that he is not out of the woods quite yet, but he can see the clearing. He also wants to thank everyone who sent him well wishes. Sheriff Davis has a couple rounds of treatment left, but he won't have to go to Atlanta for those. Certainly wishing the sheriff a speedy recovery. The time is now 6:42 a.m. and we're in recovery mode right now from yesterday's severe weather, but we still have the chance to get some more potentially today.
I know a lot of people yesterday were trying to clean up or at least just cover their homes where the roofs have been torn off because they're going to get another round of it today.
Yeah, and that also goes to say that not only is everyone going to have to be delayed on their cleanup efforts, but the National Weather Service up in Peachtree City, they said they are going to delay their surveys of those potential tornadoes across the area yesterday because of that chance for severe weather today. Not only here at home, but across other parts of the southeast that got slammed yesterday. It is going to be another active afternoon across the southeast. Spring really is showing its teeth, everybody. We have March, April, and May as our climatologically most active time of the year. In March, for really almost the entire month, every week we've had some sort of severe threat. But of course, this week we've been talking about that multi-day severe threat. Thankfully, after today, we're going to have a really nice and very well-deserved dry stretch of weather. But first, we do have to get through this afternoon. All the area under a level 3 out of 5 threat for the day today. What we're going to be looking for, damaging winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. Today, that hail threat seems to be larger. So speaking of, we could have some large hail today. If you have a carport or a garage that you could park your car in, probably the best idea for that. Now, we do have a tornado threat today, but it does not look to be as great of a threat as it was yesterday. It's not one of our primary threats, but we still could have a brief tornado or two as we head through the afternoon today. Right now, as you're getting ready to head out the door for work and school, very much like yesterday, it's a quiet morning out there. You don't have to worry about any rain. We do have some fog starting to develop, so just keep in mind you might run into some reduced visibility, not because of rain, but because of the fog for the start of the day. Good thing about fog, though, fog creates stability in the atmosphere. So it's nice to have the fog linger around for the morning. So any kind of activity that fires up is simply going to be rain for the start of the day. So you'll probably want to have the raincoat with you for the morning. Now, as we head into the afternoon, we're going to open up that window of opportunity for severe storms around 2 o'clock. What's going to be happening is we're going to have a boundary that's draped over the area. That's allowed for a couple of showers this morning, just some light rain, but you know, we got a lot of rain yesterday, upwards of 4 inches in some spots. That's led to some puddling in the roads, also some flooding in some of your yards, I'm sure, flood-prone areas. And there is still some water on the side of some roads this morning, so you want to be extra careful. Now, as we head into the afternoon, like I said, we're going to have a boundary start to allow for that lift of all of the moisture and warmth that is in the atmosphere this morning. It's in the mid-60s to start the day. And we'll watch for the potential for clusters of storms. It's not going to be a line line of storms like we had yesterday. It's more so going to be clusters of storms, and within these, some very heavy rainfall, also that potential for damaging winds, and maybe some large hail, maybe a brief isolated tornado as well. Again, that threat is there. It's not zero, but it's also not as high as it was yesterday. Definitely not expecting as active of a day as yesterday, especially when it comes to that tornadic threat. As we head towards 8 o'clock, this is the time around sunset. So for that ride home from work and school today, you want to be weather aware yet again, as storms might be ongoing. You do not want to be driving in that. And by 8 p.m., that's when things start to calm down as we lose that heat of the day. A lot of our activity today is going to be fueled by the heat of the day. Then a cold front moves in through the early morning tomorrow, offering us a small rain chance, and then we're finally cool and dry as we head into the end of the week, just in time for that Braves home opener, just in time for the Dogwood Festival this weekend in Perry. Lots going on, so thankfully the weather will cooperate. But you need to stay weather aware today. Have a way to receive weather warnings as we do have that severe threat again. So we'll have a small rain chance into tomorrow morning, and then we're dry Friday all the way through Tuesday of next week.